Morning, Hannah. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
Feeling great. How about you?
Doing well. Are you Leah's virtual assistant?
No, I'm from the Ellison. Yes. Angie told me to attend this Zoom meeting.
Thanks.
And she told me that you worked before to the Ellison and now you're working from the specular.
Yep. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon. We'll kind of wait a few minutes to let a few more people pop on since it's 12 noon here Central Time, kind of lunch hour. So we'll give it a few more minutes and then we'll get started. Hey Grant. Oh, there's Matt too.
Yeah.
Hey
Yeah.
there.
We're a package deal.
Love it. I figured y'all would probably be next to each other.
Yeah.
Good deal. Filling in for Leah while she is out on her honeymoon.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Where'd they go?
They are like in Japan.
Oh,
Far
Very-
away. Good.
Yeah, for like a few
Yeah.
weeks.
Nice.
that's awesome.
Very
Yeah.
fun.
I know I've kind of seen on her Facebook, she's keeping her stories updated. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're just like eating their way through town, which it looks amazing.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Cool. Good for her. Good for them.
Yeah, I'm excited for her. Real small wedding. I think they just went to the courthouse, kept it real simple and
Save the money for the trip.
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I know they bought a house and so just kind of working. And sure enjoying all the things there.
Mhm.
So we'll give it a few more minutes before we get started. Let a few more. I know it's kind of lunch hour for a lot of people. So how's everybody doing this week? Tuesday.
So far, so good.
Closed my most difficult transaction of the year, so I'm happy.
There you go.
Four extensions later.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad that's a relief to get that one done.
Gone. Yeah, thank God.
Good.
Yeah, we're gonna work that one off the board.
Yeah, get it out of here. Sorry, we have a big visual board up that have all of our ink contracts too.
Yeah, you're good. I will wait till like 4 after and then we'll get going because I want to be respectful of your time.
Thanks.
Who's everybody else on the video? I don't know these folks.
So these are all open to Leah's coaching clients. And then I think she also told some other MAPS coaches kind of about this master class series that kicking it off today with lead capture is the topic.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Are we waiting on our people?
I'm not let's see. All right, let's get started. Pam, I just want to let you know your video is on. There you go. You okay? Perfect. All right, guys. Let's get started. I want to be, respectful of your guys' time. We'll leave the end open for questions. So I'm just going to quickly introduce myself. My name's Hannah. I was a director of operations for 7.5 years for a real estate team in Arkansas, Keller Williams. And Leah was one of our director of sales coaches and still coaches the team still today. I had an operations coach, Megan Henry, which is fabulous. So if you're looking for any operations coaching, Megan's fabulous. Still talk with her on a daily basis. Mid last year, I moved into the account strategist role at Speculo, coaching and consulting agents, teams, and brokerages on their online marketing for lead conversion into within their CRM. We build websites, we have ISA support, social media management, and assist our clients on their online Google ad spend to receive high quality leads, either buyer or seller, to automatically import into your CRM. And we help set up the follow-up systems in place to convert those leads and ultimately get them to close GCI. The manual work that you do is the lead generation, mainly the phone calls. We automate, and help with the automatic text messages and emails. So if we have any other questions, we can dive deeper questions into that. I've worked in multiple CRMs. My old team used Command, very familiar with Brevity, Sync, Follow Up Boss, Lofty, to name a few. So best practices to actually capture the lead when the lead comes in. This is what we really focus on here at Speculo, and applies to your business as well and across any other lead generation model. So open house, sign call, Sphere, all the other different sources. So the 3 pillars to build in order to be successful: integration and automation. So making sure you have the necessary systems in place, like a website, CRM, follow-up plans, systems, to make sure that before the lead has been generated at all, that these systems are seamless and that you can focus then on the conversion. Lead generation itself is a high quality leads that both buyers and sellers, that are both buyers and sellers. Our system hone in on leads that have high intent, that want to transact in real estate. And then account strategy. This is where, not going to leave you hanging. Not only do we spend time supporting you at the campaign perspective, but also bring value to the conversion by tracking key metrics within your CRM. So lead capture, to me, kind of is identified, especially from when I was on a team. Lead capture is keeping the lights on in your business or not taking your eye off the ball. So who needs to do what and who owns what within that system? First, do you guys have a system written out for lead capture? Kind of opening up the floor since there's a few of us on.
I mean, we have a distribution of incoming leads structured, and Matt and I have pretty diligent expectations for what first, second, third step are. I don't know if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. And even so sign call, if you guys have leads coming in, or if you hold an open house, how, what is your system around lead, capturing that lead and making sure it gets into the CRM with every source of business that you guys have? So that's where it's like, okay, go through your tags or go through your CRM. It's like, okay, for sign calls, what do we have for capturing that lead? Great. It's on our phone and it's in our call log because we just answered the phone. But getting that lead from your phone straight into your CRM or for you guys command, so just, okay, who's doing what, who's responsible? I know on my old team, we had a virtual system. We just had a Slack channel that it just said new lead. So if you are at dinner and somebody, hey, Hannah, tell me about real estate right now. Oh, what's on your mind? Talk, and then, well, I don't know. I might want to buy an investment property. I hear, this is great. I would write that in there, even though it's at dinner, put that lead in and just be like, hey, John mentioned something about real estate. My VA then on the next business morning would ask me about it and say, hey, tell me about this. Who's John? Where is his name and number, to make sure it gets into the CRM, and then tags or a follow-up plan. So I know then to call him, based on his motivation. So having a system kind of built out around capturing every single lead so we don't lose. Because again, I kind of think of lead capture, lead conversion is keeping the lights on in your business. So how does the lead get into your CRM is a great question to kind of ask yourself. I know another thing you could do if you're a single agent or a small team, just time block 5 to 30 minutes, 1 to 2 to 3 days a week to clean up, work on, and add those contacts into your CRM. What needs to happen once the lead is in the CRM? Tagging and categorizing the leads based on their motivation. So if they had spoken up that they say, oh, looking to make a move by the end of the year, see what their criteria is, or already pretty much in May as of tomorrow, get them on a safe search, categorize them as a nurture, hot, cold, a watch, warm are kind of the main motivation type tags, or put them in your opportunities pipeline or whichever CRM you use, just based on their motivation. Any questions so far? I'll kind of stop throughout. We doing good? Okay. Most CRMs have an auto tag that can trigger once the lead arrives. So if you do have Zaps or Zapier, I know Command and the majority of all CRMs have that capability to connect online websites or platforms or Zillow or, wherever you get leads, you are able to have those apps come into your CRM, and then you can set up automatic triggers in the back end of your settings to source where those leads are specifically coming from. You also can then have, once that tag is on and triggered from that lead, then it can have an automatic auto plan to begin after that, sending out auto text messages, automatic emails saying, if a lead comes in on your website or searching online, and it comes in at 9, 10 o'clock at night after hours. You might not be on your phone, maybe asleep in the middle of the night. Have an automatic plan that automatically texts them and says, hey, we see that, you've been searching online. We acknowledge we will have one of our, real estate professionals or so-and-so's name will be reaching out to you, first thing tomorrow morning to get in touch with that lead. So you acknowledge that they've come in and that they are there. Let's see. What are some of the pitfalls that keep the lead from converting? So kind of want to open this up. So what are y'all seeing that keeping leads from converting in today's market from the last, Q1, and now that we're midway through Q2? Anybody? Grant, Matt, Pam, Sharon?
Can you repeat the question then?
Yeah.
And I'll get it.
Yep, for sure. What are some of the pitfalls that keep the lead from converting?
I mean,
some of the obvious are it's a bad number. Maybe the locate, like I just had one from Michigan, then I don't know how much we can help some of that, right? Some of it's based on the information that they provide.
Right.
I would say one big one though too is problem that we run into with some of the internet leads is not knowing exactly, not having a convenient way to source what the lead was doing when they got into our system. Not saying that way doesn't exist, but it's 3 to 4 clicks away. And when I'm just trying to pick up the phone and call, a lot of the times I'm not doing that. So I'm not as targeted on the follow-up as I should be.
Sure, makes sense. Okay. I know a few others. Oh, go ahead.
Maybe it was like for me, I think now more than ever, because we have so much information coming at us as just human beings in general, that they need more time getting to know us like online. So directing them to our Instagram and our socials so they can see who we are, where they're building the know, like, trust digitally, so that when they raise their hand, they feel like they know us when we reach out. And there's like, that's the difference in just a straight ad versus like an ad directing them to Instagram to get engagement, to get, I don't know, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
No, I think that's great. Yeah, building that relationship to gain that trust over time, that they see on multiple different platforms. Maybe they're getting, you're calling them, you're getting their voicemail, they're seeing your emails. It's branding across all platforms. I think it's great. I know another one, keep in mind, if they have been texting you, on those automated text messages, continue communicating through them through that same preferred method that they've been communicating you with so far. Then if you've kind of gotten somewhere through some text messages, hey, here's my personal direct phone or direct line. If you're communicating them through your CRM, if you're emailing back and forth, don't try to pick up the phone and call them. Continue emailing them to continue that. Yes. And then set up that meeting or set up that next phone call. Hey, let's have a quick phone call. What time works good for you? Today at 3 or tomorrow at 5? Give them the options, just like Bold has taught all of us. Yeah, thank you, Andrea. So Andrea, the question was, what are some of the pitfalls that keep the lead from converting? We're just kind of opening up and sharing.
Yeah, but did you want me to answer?
Yeah, we'd love for you.
It took me a hot minute to find the link. I would say they're flirting with the idea of whether they're buying or selling, and we're trying to score a touchdown versus going a few yards. We're trying to move too fast.
Sure.
And there's so many steps in between that to win the relatability in the audience. So I would say converting leads, especially if they're cold leads like that, it comes down to we're showing up trying to sell them a house and we don't even understand why or what their because is yet.
Yeah.
Learn that the hard way, Hannah.
I'm sure, yeah, at times we all have, so. Okay, perfect. So what is your method for tracking leads? So keeping up with your leads and tracking them. So again, we'll just open that up. I've got some bullet points as well, but since we're a small group, we can kind of keep it open for them and we'll all learn from each other.
So, assuming most of us have a CRM of some point or some sort, you can just set tasks, right? So, some of ours have a smart plan like set up when they come in, just so you start doing tasks. Grant and I typically will cancel those and just do it manually from once we actually start making the calls and stuff. But yeah, it's just at least once a day, at least. When you first get them, you got to probably try 3 or 4 times a day. Follow up for a week and a half, and you can just reset those tasks daily. But yeah, just have your reminders. I mean, it's not exactly rocket science. Just call them.
Yeah, mine is 9 attempts in the first 3 days, then 1 a day for the remainder of the week. And then honestly, typically by that time, you're dead to me. Honestly, if I've invested 12 touches on you, I throw a future prospect tag on you, and then we're still building our incoming leads pipeline here on our team. But the goal is once we get to about 50 of those, we're each once a month going to load them all into a triple dialer and just blast them all again for a once monthly touch, see if we can get lucky. But I find that a call and a text first thing in the morning, followed by another call later in the day, just whenever it's convenient into my schedule, doing that for 3 days in a row. If I haven't talked to them in that window, I'm at like 2% that I'm going to get them in the next 2 days. I mean, and this is over a sample size of 5 years at the old team where we had significant leads coming in. So it was a pretty solid sample size.
Yeah. Love that. Andrea, do you have anything to add?
I forget what the question was. Tracking.
I think tracking leads.
So I am obsessive about CRMs, and some of the struggles that I found is no matter what team we're working with, trying to get the agents to use it. So I would say definitely the CRM, having certain filters for my now versus later buyers and sellers, like 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 plus, and making sure the cadence of the auto plans makes sense and they're personal enough. And because I always like having a backup system, I would track the appointments in Google Docs, not just in the CRM. I like to see everything all at once, and I know depending on the CRM, you can see it all at once. I like Google Docs, and I have a rating system from 1 to 10.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm obsessive about tracking.
Yep.
See,
That's where everybody has their own system, that works for you. We did the same thing, that I had the CRM where it tracked, but once you went on the appointment and they closed, I wanted to see year to date, how many listing appointments set, met, kept, and signed, and moved
best friends.
at like a bird's eye view from a spreadsheet. I agree. So it's whatever works for you, as long as you use a system that's documented. And hey, it doesn't matter if it's still the sticky notes in the old school notebook, that's fine, as long as it works and you're using the system. Yep, exactly. I have mine over here too. So perfect. Okay. A few little notes that I kind of put: what's your method of tracking leads? Just daily time block to add them in. I remember I would kind of work just 5 minutes every morning before I kind of got to the office early and worked on my sphere. Either if it's in command, I put them on a neighborhood nurture plan, put them on the bi-weekly or the monthly. Even if like my uncle, he didn't ever care to move. He said he will die in that house, but he's always curious, what is days on market, price per square footage, what's going on in their neighborhood. It's a smaller neighborhood, so I've got also like 5 surrounding neighborhoods, and every time I see him, which is often, we talk about it. So it is a great tool to add. So always give value. You're the local expert, in many, many things: home inspections, roofs, yard people, fence people, you got flooring, we got a bunch of great value adds in your back pocket. So be that resource for your whole database. Let's see. Another thing, report. Yeah, like we did, report your leads in, Slack or like one channel, and then upload them, time block just 2 days a week, and just do that, but send them to yourself. I know somebody that did that, and they just had a certain email address that they would just email certain notes to themselves on this random email address, and then they would sit down in one sitting, knock all that out, and then keep going. But that was somewhere where they had it all in one spot instead of a sticky note somewhere floating around in a purse, or notes scattered everywhere and it might get lost. Just remember, what's your average commission, and is it worth losing that? So keep up with it. This is what keeps your lights on. So okay, another question. What to do to bring people into the web and keep them interested and engaged, or into your CRM?
I'm out on this one.
Okay. Anybody else?
So the question was what to do to put them in the CRM, or
Or what to do to bring people into the web. So like marketing, advertising,
Yeah.
emails, to keep your people in your CRM engaged, and so bringing.
the combination of all of that. It's social media, of course, and on Instagram and LinkedIn, Facebook, Then email, they have weekly touches from emails, neighborhood nurtures, and postcards. Postcards always have a call to action. You know, do they want a home value report, or do they want, you know, try to get them engaging in our social stuff? So that's what we do.
Perfect. And then do you have a lead capture, since that's our topic? Do you have a
Yep.
lead capture, you know, a call to action, if it's a QR code, or go here for your free home evaluation, and
Yep.
then they're
We
sent
have
something?
all of those. And then we just added at our open houses. So we have a couple of nonprofits that we partner with that we want to raise funds for this year. And so at every open house, if the client or if the prospective person, whoever comes in, instead of signing in a piece of paper, clicks the QR code and signs in digitally, it automatically puts them into our CRM. And then we donate $5 to the nonprofit. So if we have 10 people on a weekend at an open house, it's $50. It gets donated to the nonprofit. It saved our staff and people time from mentoring in or trying to read their chicken scratch or whatever. And it's great because then the agent in the open house immediately gets a ping and says, because it tags open house and then it tags the agent. The QR code is made for the agent doing it. And they get a ping that said, hey, this person was just put in. So
Awesome.
that one we're finding the agents are loving that. It makes it very smooth.
That's awesome. Love that. Okay, cool. Andrea, do you have anything to add?
For lead capture.
Yeah.
So depending on what lead source it is, I've been training myself. If whatever the end of the conversation I have, say it's an open house lead, I would always set up a next step. So my next step is always planned, whether that's sending them off market properties, which is really coming soon, or I'm going to send them properties, or I'm going to call them. So if it's an open house and we're with them, we have a next step being intentional and sending it while we're there. If it's a cold lead capture, giving them what they want before I get what I want. So if they're curious about the value, sending them an email, and that could be a neighborhood search if you have command, or a market report if you have brevity, sending them an email with what they're looking for, follow up either by a text or an email or a phone call that says, hey, were you able to download the report okay? Instead of going straight in, hey, you ready to sell your house? Why do you want to know the value? Right? So probably 2 years ago, I started working with a team in Maryland, and I just rewrote all the auto plans to go a little bit slower. So that lead capture is really, we're dating, we're nurturing them before we go in for the kill.
That's right.
So I would say for lead capture, not always making it about real estate, and making it about something they're interested in, not just what we want, which is a sale.
Yeah. Don't be all transactional that, hey, what can I do to help you? Don't ever say I, always beat them down with a million questions. Keep them like they are the sole focus. We are there to help help them in their home search to buy or sell. And it always will go over, I know, a lot smoother.
Love that.
For sure. Okay. Let's see. Tagging each source. I don't want to go too far into systems, even though that's where my background is systems and operations. But always is important to know, where is your business coming from? Tag. I was kind of like the policewoman on my old team. Every person that comes into the CRM must have a tag. So it has to have where it comes from. There would be a random group of people every once in a while that didn't have tags. I would just call them and, see, maybe they came through an open house, maybe they called, and I just had an unknown tag every once in a while, but I always try to keep those at 0. So knowing why is that so important? It's ROI, it is completely tracking of ROI, knowing where your business comes from. Again, not trying to get too much into the other models, but where your lead gen model starts first, then it goes to economic for a reason, knowing your metrics, then into budget, where to spend your money in order into which, source of business to get you the highest amount of return. So kind of covered that. Let's see. What does your follow-up plan look like for each source of business? Do you guys have a different follow-up plan for different sources of business? 36 touch for SOI, sphere of influence, or METs, open houses, you know, what is your follow-up plan? What does that look like for agent referrals, past clients, sign calls, so on and so on? Do you guys have that?
I don't think I should go because it'll be a very long answer.
Pam, what about you?
Yeah, so the follow-ups typically consist of, if it's someone that we haven't met, it's more generic, it's softer, it's the slow go, trying to get them, you know, asking them things about our local area, you know. We went to, you know, even though it's not us sending it at that moment, it was just found this great brunch spot. You know, what's your favorite brunch spot? Here it is. Here's a link to some great ones. You know, some things that show that we're out in the neighborhood that they're, you know, that we're serving.
Yeah.
And then we also do events. So we invite people to the event. So we have an Easter egg hunt in the earlier part of the year. We do a pie day at the end of the year. And then we're going to have a big fundraising event, which is not about us, about the community, but that brings everyone together. So we're always putting ourselves kind of in front of them. Or we do things like we recently did a shredding day and a recycle day for recycle your electronics. And all of those have a, you know, a call to action, something attached to it.
Awesome. That's where I think just giving value, you know, we covered lead capture. Now it's like, okay, now what with the leads? And, you know, they come from a million different sources, you know, so having them organized, categorized based on motivation, you know, that 0 to 3 months. They're a hot lead, more of a nurture, 3 to 6 months kind of. And then I would say a warm or a watch, you know, 6 to 12 months. And then cold, you know, like Grant was saying, cold lead, tag them as what future prospect, I think is what he said, you know, that, hey, they might eventually resurface at some point. Just hasn't yet. So another thing I did want to mention, one of my ISAs that I coach, she has a sweet spot of lead gen follow-up. I know, Grant, I meant to say this when I piggyback off what you said. Sweet spot after lead generation, when that lead comes in, that 7th to 10th phone call attempt, she said, is her sweet spot of, she was like, now that could be in the first few days, or I give them a week rest and call every day. But that 7th to 10th call attempt is where her golden sweet spot has been. Getting a lot of good conversations, you know, they've gotten the emails, the text messages, and then now they're getting the voicemails and, okay, this girl isn't giving up until I answer. And then finding out what type of motivation they're looking to make a move. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
I'm good, Hannah. How are you?
I'm good. So yeah, going over lead capture, kind of talking lead capture, database, CRM, making sure everybody's tagged based on motivation. And then whichever CRM, the majority of them that I work in, they all have the triggers, you know, to create an auto plan for follow-up after. So if you have an open house lead or a sign call, you can make an auto plan to task you to follow up, you know, and leverage that system to let that do the work for you. So if it's open house, internet lead, sign call, sphere, you know, hey, touch base with this person, put them on that quarterly call plan, or as soon as you tag them, you know, Andrew SOI, or, you know, whichever, then it'll trigger this, you know, auto plan to then task you to touch base with them throughout the year. So, let's see. So follow-up plans for each business, each source of business. Open house, you can have a digital, you know, QR code, a Google form, Excel spreadsheet, you know, the old-fashioned printout works honestly pretty great still. A clipboard, just hand them that, you know, the seller requests this before you know, entering their home. Due to security purposes, you know, just kind of have a sentence that you use to have them fill it out. Even if they have a signed rep, have them fill it out. You can always build your own landing page within Command, you know, to have a lead capture form within it and put that listing at the top and have, you know, hey, scan this QR code, fill this form out online, and that lead goes directly into your CRM from that lead capture form. So lots of options. Also just, again, I just go back to it, time block on a weekly basis, you know, a few minutes to whatever your lead capture is, just do it, keeps the lights on. Let's see. Internet leads, speed to lead is key. You know, that 0 to 5 minutes for the highest conversion per, you know, the MREA, and for panels from the last 8 years, I've been to Mega Camp and Family Reunion. Speed to lead is key. I do have some people that kind of give it a few minutes, you know, don't want to interrupt if they are currently scrolling to call them. So it's just kind of what works best for you and your tracking. But if you don't track it, how do you know if it's working or not? So let's see. Own 36 touch plan for each source of business when the lead arrives, making sure that's done. And this is a good quote from MREA on page 99. What you have to embrace is the fact that you have the number of qualified leads you have is either to grow your business, to keep you in business, or to put you out of business. So page 99, that kind of covers lead gen and lead follow-up in the MREA. So it's a good few pages right after that. So, okay, that's kind of questions I had. Open it up for questions, comments, mastermind, see how we can help each other out. Lead capture, lead follow-up.
Are you a DOO? Are you a director of operations?
I was for 7.5 years. Yep.
Good, then you probably know the answer to this. Maybe you don't know. I'm looking for the average.
Yeah.
Appointment met to closed for on average. Do you happen to know that either for teams or individuals? I'm sorry.
I don't, but I can get your email, and
I have yours. I'm gonna email you.
I'll put my email up here in case you need it or have questions. It all depends on your conversation practice. We're not supposed to say script practice. You know, it's skills based. So making sure, you know, it depends. I know on my old team, we tracked it across the board. Everybody had their own conversion metric. If I had it just as the whole team, as like, hey, here's our conversions for the team, it needed to be agent specific or person specific. And usually if you had a big gap from appointment set to kept, okay, we're not doing a great job, and that was only at like 30 or 40%. Okay, we're not doing a great job at setting qualified appointments for people that are actually ready to go. Maybe they're still like a B buyer or a B seller, or their motivation is not there. They're not going to be homeless until August. Okay, then why are we trying to set the appointment in April? You know, them to that is maybe why those appointments were not kept. You know, they did not show up. So that's track the metrics individually instead of just as a whole. I think it's very, very important.
Yeah, I'm usually asked by rainmakers of teams what like an average is. And they're like 37% isn't bad. I'm like, excuse me.
It needs around 60. I will tell you that, but I don't know. That's between each one.
Yeah.
Having from was appointments set to closed. Was that it? I think that was met to close. Yeah. It all just kind of depends on your fallout rate. You know, and because if you get them under contract.
We track it from a phone call to appointment set to appointment met to contract closed. We track all of them. I was just wondering about some of those numbers because I get asked often, but I don't have national data, and I thought you might.
I definitely can look it up. Yep. Or I can get with a few of my other operations coaches that they could probably spit out that number pretty quick. So I'm a little bit rusty being on this other side of the business currently, but Great
Thanks.
question. Any other questions or mastermind or good something to throw out?
Just honing the craft of the speak, you know. I worked with, for everybody, I worked with Hannah for a while when she was on our team, and we did script practicing, conversation practicing a lot. And, you know, the more you lean into it, the more you can memorize it, make it your own. And it's not scripted. It's how you speak to somebody and you just know exactly what to say.
Yeah.
And that's another great book is Exactly What to Say for Realtors. Phil Jones, fantastic book. Give some people some good ideas.
Great. Thank you, Andrew. Perfect. Let's see. Pam, do you have any questions or anything to add? Lead capture, what's working well for you? You've seen success. I know it's kind of been a rough market the last year or so.
Our team is actually in the middle of diving in and uncovering all of the lost leads and all the ways we've missed opportunities. And so we are in the throes. I feel like, you know, someone's going through and tearing stuff out, trying to find, that's where we are. And then it's going to fold up and be Marie Kondo style. It's going to be, you know, where are we really expending our energy? And we want to be super focused so we can spend more time face to face with people, because I think they miss that right now. Yes, people want a lot of online activity to know, but, you know, and we do still have people who are buying stuff sight unseen. However, for longevity, I think the face to face is coming back.
Yeah, love that. I think being in all those places, you know, having multiple different appearances in different email,
Yeah.
social media, being there for all those, you know, because some people like to stay in their hidey holes and never come out of the house.
Yeah.
You know, and
The trick is to get the people who don't want to be on social media to try to show some of their personality without feeling like they're doing a dog and pony show. You know, how can you be authentic to you so that people who are going to align with you, you don't have to be like everyone else. That's been sort of a sticky wicket, tricky one for us because you have multiple people, multiple personalities, one group.
No, I love it. Perfect. Yeah, I think providing different types of value in different ways, you know, to cater to all, not just like, you know, doing big social events only. It's like, okay, making the kind of doing the one-on-one coffee dates or kind of meeting them where they feel comfortable. Love that. All right, let's see. Anything else? Lead capture? Any questions? Lead conversion, source lead generation? You're muted, Matt.
I was actually just doing a quick final follow-up because you motivated me while we were doing it. But after every consultation, I write handwritten notes because I get their current address when on my information thing. And it just triggered my mind. I think the art of handwritten notes goes ignored by a lot of people, but it gets a lot of response. Like I'd say 1/3 of the notes I send out, I either get a call or a text on. And I try to send out like 3 to 5 a week.
Yeah, they're very genuine, you know, that you
And
took
and it just anchors you to people. I mean, it's seriously 4 sentences on here.
Yeah.
Like throw in a couple of business cards, let them know you're here to help.
Yep.
But I will say, always ask for the business in them. If you don't write handwritten cards, say some personal stuff, but always either offer something or ask for the business. Like right now, most of my notes are the spring's upon us. I'm sure you've got some projects. Don't forget to hit me up if you need referrals. Kind of thing is my action.
No, I love it. I love it. Great ad. And then also, you know, going back through, if you find yourself just be like, okay, I don't know.
Can
who to
I
call.
ask Grant a question?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so the spring's upon us. Let me know if you need any referrals, recommendations for referrals. You're putting that in your notes. So when you meet them, do you have sort of a focus and everyone gets that? And do you tweak it? Because
So-
that's
so
always been
there-
my thing. What am I going to say? And then I get stuck and then don't say anything.
Yes, so just like I know we're not supposed to use script but I mean it's the same thing as I do when I'm doing my stranger calls is I mean I've just kind of got a form in my head that I write to everybody because it's not
Uh-huh.
something like that I was given or taught. It's genuinely me. But after I first meet a buyer, oh my God, it was excellent getting to meet you. I can't wait to hear how the meeting goes with one of my with the lenders. Please, in the meantime, let me know if there's anything you need. And of course, I'm always available to ask questions about the market or specific properties. Boom. With a seller, I do normally offer a value add. Actually, just sent one out today that's for a friend of mine that's thinking about selling. And when I was over at their house, they need new floors and paint. Well, I have another friend who owns a painting company. So I threw his business card in
Yeah.
there. I was like, here's a good place to start. We've got like a stack of business cards in our office just for various contractors. I'm the only one who writes notes over here, but I throw one of those in. Oh, you need I remember when you bought the house,
Mhm.
the electric was a little wonky. Here's a electrician's
Yeah.
card. And
I like
then
receiving them. I just don't do it, but so I love that you're doing it. Thank you.
yeah,
And
and then this
it's really coming from high value service to give them things that you know they're going to need. Instead of doing it in an email, you're writing it out.
yeah, and then the best ones though are past clients, especially ones that like first time buyers in that first 3 to 5 year window. Those are the ones that get the spring. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how big your kids have gotten. It's crazy to think that this one, I just was like, Isaac was a snot-nosed 2-year-old when we were showing houses. Now he's like in kindergarten. And then the next line was, I'm sure after you've been in the house this long, with spring around the corner, you've got some projects you want to work on. If you ever need any referrals, I've got a guy for everything. Don't hesitate to call. And I threw 2 of my business cards in there. One for them,
That's
one
great.
past. Yeah. I mean,
I love
not
it.
a ton of them lead to business, but they definitely lead to maintaining that conversation.
Mhm.
And one of the things I struggle with my past clients is I want to talk to them 4 to 6 times a year, but half those times I don't know what the hell to say.
Yeah.
Like I really don't. So these notes are an easy but personal kind of passive touch.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for
Just-
letting me ask that.
Relationship with them
Mhm.
that you care.
I mean, but that's also like just me. I'd rather have fewer clients that I'm really closely bonded to than more clients that I'm just closing deals. It's just me personally.
Makes sense. Awesome. Love it. Anything else to add, anybody? Lead capture, lead generation, what's been working well for you and your team this year? Anything else? I can give you 10 to 12 minutes back in your Tuesday. Is that it? Okay. All right, guys. Well, you've got my email in case you have any questions. Don't hesitate to reach out. Hoping Leah had a great time and having a good time out there. I was excited to be able to do this for her. So you let me know if you have any questions. Grant, Matt, I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye, Pam. See you, Andrew. Good seeing you.
Everybody, thanks for the help.
Bye.
Bye, guys.